And we're live. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Kyle Seraphin Show, Locals Call-In special that we do on Thursday nights. I was booked for Jesse Waters, and then they got a better idea. You guys probably don't know how they do this stuff. As far as I can tell, I'm guessing here a little bit, but I've got a pretty good instinct after watching this for a while. I've been bumped a bunch of times, so it doesn't really bother me. But I'm fairly confident there's multiple producers for every one of these major shows that you see, and they go out and they line up segments for the A block, the B block, the C block, the D block. They go out there and they figure out like what they think that they can pitch. Then they go find the guests and get the guests to agree to it. And then they present it to the host, and the host decides like thumbs up or thumbs down, like I want to go with a different segment. So they'll book you and then they'll kick you out. And even crappier, they hit up Steve Friend and said, "Hey, Steve, do you want to be on the program?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do it." Okay. And then they had hit me up first, but I was busy. Didn't take the phone call. Then they got me and I said, sure. They didn't tell me that they called Steve. And then I said yes. And then they never called Steve back. And then they bumped me too. So, so we're a little bit later tonight than we usually are. But if you guys have never seen how that works, that's how it works. If you're going to go and do a Fox News hit, you're like you're at their mercy, and they're very much proud of themselves. And they think that they turn the world. And that's why I'd rather be on InfoWars. Like 10 times out of 10, I'd rather be on InfoWars. It's way more fun. In any case. All right. So what do we got? We've got our call-in show. We can talk about a couple things tonight. First of all, anything that's in your heart, I'm happy to chat about it with you. Sometimes we get people come in and they just lay it on me and they want to dominate the show for a little bit. That's totally what this is all about. If you're a subscriber, you get to talk about whatever the hell you want. Mostly I'll listen and pipe in when it makes sense. If you come in, you got some questions or you want to have a discussion, you want to ping it against the audience, this is your chance to do so. So this is a benefit to our subscribers only. You got to be a subscriber over on Locals. Yeah, on Locals. I was trying to remember where it is. You could also be on X. They also have access to it. I'll go ahead and put that out on X for those of you that are subscribers over there. It's like $2 a month if you want to be on the X version of it. So there's that. You can also be a subscriber. It's about $5 a month over on Locals, unless you want to do it for the year, in which case it ends up being, I think it's like $50 for the year. So up to you. Most of this stuff is that you want to support what we're doing here and you wanted to kick in. People were asking me how they could support me. I came up with a way to do it. That's how we do it. That's why we do the Locals Call-In. It also gives me an opportunity to connect with you all, and I love to hear what you have to say. So I'll run those through real quick. They look like this. It's rumble.com/Kyle Seraphin. That's the main page for all of you that are over there. I see plenty of you right now. That's a good way to do it. If you're watching over on YouTube, especially some of you that have been part of the Barry Cunningham crowd that has seen me over there, and it's my second appearance today on his show. Great to have you along. YouTube.com/@Kyle Seraphin. Again, the Locals cheat code to get there is KyleSeraphin.com. And then lastly, we don't put the call-in show up on the podcast thing for Spotify, but for the daily podcast, if you want to get it and watch it later on, it's KyleSeraphinShow.com. Otherwise, just download the Spotify app and look for me, Kyle Seraphin Show. Very easy to do. All right, so that's the story. We got our first call coming on the line here. Actually, I probably better go ahead and connect. Stand by, caller. Give me 1 second because I got to put you into the system here. Let's add you to the Bluetooth, and then we will bring you on the line. And 3, 2, 1. We are connected. Caller, can you hear me right now? 1, 2, 3. Maybe. Can you hear me?
Hello?
There it is. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Lovely. Who am I talking to?
This is Tracy.
Hi, Tracy.
Normally from Iowa, coming at you from St. Louis, Missouri tonight.
What are you doing in St. Louis, Missouri tonight?
I'm at a conference, a law enforcement conference this week, so I've been down here all week,
Okay.
and I will head back home on Saturday morning. But I have a real desire tonight to entertain you with a story.
I'm ready
and
for it.
Everybody else that's listening. So here we go. I was having some reconstruction done on my house, and so I was putting in a new bathroom sink and toilet and kitchen sink and the soft water system and moving my washer and dryer. In any event, the plumbers had my water off, and so as you know, when you spend the majority of the day without water, you need to maybe dispose of some things. So I needed to go to the bathroom at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I was going to be really cool. And being a former officer, I used to do this all over the place, in the county. When I was out in the county, it would be sometimes 45 minutes before I could get to the bathroom. So I grabbed a pot, went out to my garage, And as I started to, squat and relieve myself, either I have lost enough muscle tone due to the injury or I just lost my balance. But I fell over backwards.
What?
And so, so I'm trying to aim for the pot.
On your back?
On my back.
What?
Yes. And so when I finished, I put the pot down, and then I realized, well, I'm a little wet because I missed the pot a little bit. But then I can't figure out how to get up because
This is terrible. This is a terrible story. Why are you telling me this story? I feel terrible.
Because it's hysterical. Because only these things happen to me. And so
they definitely don't just happen to you. They happen to all kinds of people. They just don't call and talk about it so strangers can hear it. This is terrible.
I figured everybody would enjoy this. So I couldn't even call the plumber that was inside the house still because I had locked the door. And so I'm sitting there thinking, I'm going to have to call 911 and tell them that I'm half naked in my garage laying on my back in a puddle.
Yeah. Now, so people understand a little bit more clearly, too. You also have had some debilitations because of your COVID vaccine injury. Is that contributing to this a little bit?
Yes.
Okay.
This contributed, I think, quite a bit.
Yes. Less people just start sending off the nasty thoughts. This is a excusable situation. This is not a failure to train during leg day. This is a physiological condition.
Correct.
That you are dealing with. What a terrible experience for you. I'm glad you're laughing about it. I think that's great.
I thought it was hysterical. I did finally figure out how to stand up. I had to kind of roll over and push myself up off the ground.
Yeah, you got to do the dead bug. Is that what I think that's what they used to call it? Like where you'd roll over and you put your knee down and you kind of just put your whole body there and figure out. What a rotten way to go.
Stay dry.
Yeah, I guess I'm glad you didn't have to call 911. That's an awkward call. I've taken that call,
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
Yes, it would be. I would be the girl. I fell down and I cannot get up, and I'm laying in a puddle.
That I may or may not have let out of my own body. Yeah, the struggle is real, Tracy. Good for you for laughing about it.
The struggle is real. I know. I thought it was funny. So I thought I would entertain everybody tonight with that little story.
That's a hell of a way to kick off our program. Just usually referred to as too much information disclosure, but not for me. I used to have this overwhelming urge that if people would tell me weird stuff, my answer was, look, I'm not a doctor, but I'll take a look, right? Like, I don't care. Especially, and when you've been a paramedic for a little while, your friends always want to show you wounds or potential sexual transmitted diseases or whatever things they got going on in wherever place. And you just go like, I don't know, man. I've seen a 350-pound man have his hemorrhoids sliced open. And I was the guy holding the ass cheeks open. So it don't matter to me. You can't hurt my feelings. I've had 85-year-old ladies poop right into my hands when I was trying to wash them with a sponge bath. So it don't matter to me. You're not gonna throw me off. And I've also had 7-day rotted, 7-day decomp corpses that fell apart in my hands too. So when you've seen horrible, whatever, show me whatever. Like I said, I'm not a dentist, but I'll take a look.
So I figured y'all would enjoy that story tonight.
It's fantastic. Where are you at? Okay, so let me. We haven't talked about it, but let's just ping you. What is your take on the Signal Gate situation? What do you think is going on there? Now that you've been listening a little bit.
I have no idea. I've been completely out of touch since Sunday.
Okay.
I have not seen anything. I'm sorry.
Well, that's good then. You don't have any take on it because that's what's been dominating the leftist mindset, and I think it's kind of funny to listen to it. So, all right, well, we'll get a cold read. If you haven't heard, you haven't heard. So no big deal. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say Signal Gate or no?
No.
Apparently, Pete Hegseth and the National Security Advisor Mike Waltz and who else was in there? Stephen Miller and Susie Wiles, the Chief of Staff, and the Chief of Staff for Policy or the Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy. You had J.D. Vance and a bunch of others were in a Signal group that supposedly accidentally got a journalist from The Atlantic, a guy named Jeffrey Goldberg, added to it. And then they, quote unquote, disclosed war plans, which were not war plans, I wouldn't say, as someone who's seen similar, battle plans and ops plans. And so The question is whether or not it was an accident, a big screw up, and they exposed a bunch of national security material to a journalist who's not favorable to them, or whether they set him up as an op. And so anyway, you'll have to listen. If you catch up to a couple of shows that we've done, especially the last two, I recommend listening to the one Ooper Ops, and then there's another one that's got George Hill in it. And George came in and gave a take on it. And then, maybe you'll tell me next week what you think about it, because I don't think they're going to be done with it for a while.
I definitely have. I have plans to listen as soon as I get home on Saturday. So.
All right. Well, we'll get you dialed in. We'll get you squared away back into the touch. And then hopefully you took a nice shower and cleaned yourself off from your little pea turtle experience.
You're awesome, Kyle. Keep up the good work, and I'll let somebody else call in.
I appreciate it. Thanks for jumping on with us, and travel safely on your way home.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
Tracy.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That's an interesting way to start us off. That might be a first, I think, having somebody tell me about their misadventures with their toilet shut off. I'll take it. We'll take it right there. No big deal. Thanks for calling in, Tracy. Folks, if you want to give us a dial in, all you got to do is be a subscriber. You guys, the link is in the show description. It's the KyleSerafinshow.locals.com/post, and then you'll see it new for the month of February. I didn't change the number for the month of March. We'll switch it up when we get to April. But if you guys want to dial in for that, I see there's a number of you in the locals chat. It sounds like somebody's going to have to jump on the line here if you guys want to continue this up, and I'm happy to chat with you guys for a little while longer. Again, Fox News, we had an instant poll. Thankfully, we have really, really good listeners and we have really good subscribers. And they said, no problem. Go ahead and skip out or push the locals call-in show. We don't mind. It'd be better if you got some exposure doing Fox for a few minutes. And so I think last I checked, there was 30 or 40 of you that responded really, really quickly to that. And I appreciate you guys being flexible with our little call-in show here. So that's cool. Let's put this thing on right now. We got another phone number that was working for a little while. Whatever. I'll take another phone number here. I got a couple phone numbers on the studio line here. Who do we got on the line right now?
I might hit the wrong one. It's Rose.
Rose, yeah, you're saving these numbers. I delete these numbers usually. They cycle out. Hi, Rose. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Great to talk to you. I haven't heard from you in a couple days, I feel like.
I know. It's been a while.
It has been. What are you up to? What do you got going on?
Oh, just helping somebody else pack up their house and all. They just closed today.
There's got to be some kind of a name for that. I don't know what it is, but you seem to be the patron saint of moving people out of their homes, yeah?
I'm good at packing, organizing.
That's an appreciable skill. How about how good are you at squatting over a pot in the garage and not missing the target? What do you think about Tracy's situation?
Oh, it's cracking up. That's funny.
It could happen to anyone, right?
I think oh, absolutely. I've fallen out of the shower before.
You know, I actually, so we're potty training my little one. Potty seems like a good sort of theme that's happening in my life at the moment too. So our littlest one, who's just turned 19 months old, she's running around butt naked everywhere, right? Because you got to keep an eye on her and put her on a little toilets. And we have these little toilets all over the house. And my wife is great at this. She's got a special skill to be able to teach sub 2-year-olds who can't even speak yet how to, pee in a toilet. And we've gotten 3 of the 4 done. And so the last one's up right now. And she's putting them in the middle of the room, though, to have easy access to them. So they're scattered all over the downstairs on the hardwood. And I was like, I know I'm going to end up like kicking one or falling over one or stepping into one. Like, it's just going to happen. Like if you just put some things that are landmines, it's going to happen.
Inevitable.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there talking to the baby. The baby's like super cute with her little pot belly. And she's standing there and she's got her little hair all over the place. And she's saying her little 5 words, dada, and so on and so forth. And then I tried to stand up. And of course, I dropped my knee right into the freaking toilet and I splashed it all over the place. And I was like, I know it's my fault because I knew it was going to happen. But I hate proving myself right on things I don't want to be right about. So I kind of empathize with a toilet disaster. It was just water. Luckily, it was just water on the ground.
Yeah, that's right. I stepped in the toilet once when
I've seen you in the chat. I know you've been listening to our signal thing. What's going on with this? What do you think? Op or oops? I just want to poll people who've been listening whether we've made a convincing case. Op, 100%.
There's a lot. Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah.
Who do you think?
99.9%.
Okay, and then what op do you think was being run? Do you think they were running it on the journalist? Was there somebody that was trying to lure out a mole? Did we try to get rid of Tim Waltz? So, I mean, not Tim Waltz. Michael Waltz. What was the op being run?
I think they're going after KSS, maybe Waltz, anybody to embarrass the Trump administration.
Okay, so you think it was being run by the journalist side?
Journalist plus some. Journalist Goldberg was used. Yeah.
Okay.
See George's post today.
What did he say?
And I actually saw it earlier too. Somebody else. That lady with the blonde hair that you've been showing.
Yeah, Catherine Marr. Yeah, the CEO. She's also on the board over at Signal. I don't think that actually has any access. So Signal, the interesting thing, here's the thing about why I don't think that matters. Signal and the code and the end-to-end encryption and everything that they make in that app, it's all open source available so people can see what it is and how it works. And so it's been independently validated a lot. I don't think there's any hidden backdoors in there that anybody on a Signal board would have access to. I don't think they can really manipulate that. I'm open to be told wrong, but I've read enough about what they do, and it's more or less the gold standard for end-to-end encrypted apps rather. You can still compromise the phone, but
Didn't Tucker say that his was?
Yeah, almost certainly. If Tucker's was compromised, it was compromised on the handset, not on the app. So there's a couple ways you could steal data, right? So you could steal data right off the phone, or you could steal it when it's what they call data in motion. And so that's when it's being transmitted from handset A to handset B. Sometimes there's what's called a man in the middle. That's usually a server. And you can pretend to be the man in the middle by putting another server in there. But Signal is end-to-end encrypted, and it just goes direct handset to handset. So when I send something to you, it's going to go right to you, and then your phone decrypts it. So you can't really grab it in motion. It's like, unless you're just, I don't even know if they have the ability to do that. But that being said, there's no man in the middle. There shouldn't be a way to grab it in the middle. And so the data is encrypted until when it leaves me until it gets to you. But if I were to go crack it, I would just go to your phone or my phone. As long as I can access one of the two phones, I can break into it. And so there are plenty of different technologies that do that. Israelis have several options, and I'm sure we do too.
Do you think it's Waltz or his staffer, or?
I think they set up the Atlantic to look stupid. I mean, I think it's been such a good distraction for people, and I don't think it's hurting the Trump administration at all, because they don't have to react to it. You know, what are they going to do? Impeach members of the cabinet? Impeach people who are? They're certainly not going to go out there and prosecute these guys. This is the other thing. I keep looking at that executive order, that 13.526. Everybody in that chat had the ability to actually classify or declassify the information that was in it. So if they want someone to be read in, they could do it. And at the very least, J.D. Vance has unilateral discretion on that, the same way the president does. The way that I read the executive order, which was Barack Obama, by the way.
Yeah, I thought of that until you brought it up on the show the other day. Yeah, that's right.
Honestly, I think that would actually. So here's the funny thing. I think that actually gets Hillary out of the hot water that she would have been in otherwise, mishandling of classified materials, unless she was specifically trying to avoid Government Records Act. But if they're actually doing some kind of an operation where they all agreed, hey, we're going to make this stuff available, we're going to use this app, we're going to do our thing, it's a technology that we can use, but we're also going to add this guy in and screw with him, then that's a very specific action plan, and they would actually be authorized to do that if they wanted. And it meant we don't keep records of undercover operations, we don't keep records of certain types of source and method type stuff is always kind of obscured and kept away from record keeping. So there are ways you can get away with that stuff, and it's authorized. I used to use burner phones to communicate with my sources. You throw the phone away. So anyway, that's my take. I don't know if it's true or not, but.
So Obama's executive order.
Yep.
I know his president's got authority to declassify or however he wants to do it, but Hillary didn't have any authority.
Yeah, so as the Secretary of State, she would, right? So so that's what her position was. And so what that executive order actually says, it's a couple different layers. Plenary authority for all classification and declassification rests with the executive at the top. So you've got the president and the vice president essentially having the same abilities as I read it. I'm open to being wrong about this if somebody knows more. But when I read it, just the plain speak of what it says, president and vice president both have unilateral decisions to either classify or declassify, and they could do so with, whatever process they want. And then agency information that originates within and is classified by derivative through any independent partnership. Sorry, what am I saying? Agency and department, rather. So your cabinet level positions and then the sub agencies inside of them. The agency heads actually have the ability to control the information that they generate or that they classify within it. In other words, the FBI director could unilaterally, theoretically, declassify things. The Department of State, anything that's generated that's classified outside state, the Secretary of State would be able to go do that. Whether they're supposed to talk to the president or not, it's probably policy or best practice they do. But as far as I read it, they actually have the ability to control the information that is generated and maintained by their own agency. So if Hillary Clinton was only working on state stuff, she theoretically could call it declassified and make that the case, which I didn't know until very recently. I knew that executive order was out there. I just never went out there and read it again and went, oh, well, maybe she actually wasn't guilty of anything in that case, although she still shouldn't have been using a private server. It's possible that they could say that none of that stuff was classified.
What about the destruction of it?
Yeah, that's where you get into the government records issue, right? And so, and it's also motivation, like why she chose to do that, and if she wanted to do it for reasons that were trying to hide the origins or the information so that it couldn't be FOIA'd and so on, then that's problematic as well. Anyway, all of it is it's very distractionary, I think, and it does its purpose, which is that people are talking about it. I saw every single mainstream media outlet was talking about it this morning, and what they weren't talking about was the thing they were supposed to do, which is that what's going on?
They weren't even talking about how Trump's bombing over there and talking about a signal chat.
Yeah, they're talking about things that don't matter and they have no ability to affect. And so you got Pierce Morgan. The one thing I was wondering, how many political commentators from Great Britain? Is that weird?
That was a great post.
I'm just saying, I really want to know what Pierce Morgan has to say about American security clearances. But more importantly, how many Brits are currently in the news media doing American political commentary when they're not American? That seems weird because I don't think there's any Americans commenting on the British party politics.
Doubt it.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think.
Raheem does both.
Okay.
But I think he lives here now.
Okay.
He does. Anyway, I had one other question.
Yeah.
I want to hog the phone, but
It's your time.
I accidentally came across Robin Lee Grit today.
Okay. Yep.
Do you know what's the story behind it?
I don't know the exact nature of her whistleblower disclosures, and I did at one point, but I don't know anymore. She got sideways with Andy McCabe, knew him coming up, was working in headquarters, and so she was treated pretty poorly from everything we can tell. I don't agree with everything she says. She wouldn't agree with me. We probably wouldn't have been friends. We probably wouldn't get along. But I empathize with her situation, and I do think that she should be made whole. And I've made that advice as well. So we have back channel comms. We've spoken, and I wish the best for her. I hope that she's made whole. They've really screwed with her life, and in a way that was unfair, as the FBI is wont to do. So my hope is that she ends up being made whole in some way, that they allow her to basically reinstate and retire instantaneously, and she can take her pension, and that would be great, and her life would be good, and that'd be a good deed that the Trump administration could do. So I've made that recommendation quietly, but Robin's one of many. She's another example of how many FBI whistleblowers have been just historically just crapped on. It's just what they do. They just go after you, and they basically say, if you have a problem with the agency, then you're the problem. We're going to get rid of you, and that's what they did to her.
I saw her under dance or post or whatever, but she mentioned you, Steve, and Garrett.
Yeah, my guess is she's kind of haunting some of the posts for Cash's official account and Dan's official account. I don't blame her. I mean, the question is how do you make yourself high enough profile to be considered for a fix? And she was legitimately wronged, no doubt in my mind about that. So the question is how do we bring that awareness? I don't know that it's going to happen through X posts, but I don't hold that against her. You know, it's tough. A lot of people crack. Most people, yeah, no, she's legit, and she did the things she said. As far as I could tell, I've had other people that were in the space that recommended that she be made whole as well. So my hope is that, and I would have used Jesse Waters as a platform to say the same thing. It's like, look, I don't need it for me per se, but I want my guys to be able to leave or stay on their decision and not be subject to what the agency did to them. At some point, it'll all work out. I'm fairly confident. We had some good developments today. Had a chat with one of my lawyers, and it sounds like the DOJ may try to make me the what do they call that? The class agent to represent the lawsuit we have for 27 different agents, 27 different employees. And that would be a really, really dumb thing, but they're working aggressively to do it, discredit the other guy. It's like, hey, I look forward to that. I look forward to being deposed. So let's do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they heard me say it and they don't want to do that in reality. If they're smart, they wouldn't want to depose me. I wouldn't want to depose me because you don't want to depose someone that's looking forward.
Watch it.
Right? Like,
watch it.
Oh, we'll get it on video for sure. What we can do with the video is another animal. But yeah, you don't want to depose a guy that looks forward to being deposed and doesn't mind sitting in a chair for 8, 10, 12 hours and won't blink about it. And that's me.
You can rip off facts like water.
I will also
remember everything.
I also don't mind asking for clarification whenever I don't fully understand the question, and I can do that a lot. So I think entertaining myself with some DOJ attorneys would be not in their best interest.
I love it.
Hopefully they'll play this back to me at that
time. I'm
point.
not going to... All right.
What do you think of that? Pretty good?
All right. I'm going to get off. So.
All right. Well, thanks for jumping in and hanging out with me. I'm glad you're doing well. I'm happy to hear that you're continuing to move people out of their homes, as is your custom. And I look forward to seeing you in the mornings again. It's always nice to see you out there, keeping track of us, keeping us straight. Appreciate it.
I try.
All right, Miss Rose.
Have a blessed night.
You too. Thanks so much.
Bye.
All right, there we go. Rose is always the sweetest. She always keeps an eye on us. If you guys are not part of our regular morning shows, if you catch it after the fact, if you're a listener who doesn't generally speak and catch the live, Rose is always there moderating our chat, keeping track of the turds that pop in and making sure that we don't have spam. And then she also always shares the links for all the ads we do. So I'm really appreciative that she's always there. She's one of our great longtime listeners. Between her and Eric Jason, we run a pretty tight ship over there. We've got some compassion and some kind of Navy militaristic structure to it. It's very nice. I'll tell you this though, folks. I did a program with Barry Cunningham for the second time today. Earlier, I didn't know I was live. Actually, last time we did it was a recording, so I popped in live and I went live with Barry for a bit, and we ended up going for close to an hour. The funniest thing for me is that they've got a really, really nice chat over there too, over on the YouTube side of things. So we may own the nicest chat on the internet for Rumble, but Barry's folks, super nice, really, really thoughtful. I got lots of positive messages afterwards. I saw a lot of people in the chat during the time that are very courteous and nice to each other. And that's not what you always see in these kind of places. So kudos to Barry and the people that he's kind of cultivated around him. And if you're watching over on YouTube right now and you're hearing that, thanks for jumping in with us. We appreciate it. It's cool. What a nice group of people to connect with, and a lot of nice messages over on social media that I keep getting to. Just people telling me hey and tagging me and whatnot. So thanks for doing that. I read them all. I may or may not respond to all of them because sometimes it opens up more than I can get into. But yeah, it's cool. All right, so that leaves the line open. The number starts with 405 if you guys are looking for it. If you're in our locals chat over there, I guess I could turn it over to supporters only here. We'll go ahead and enable that, and then I will drop the phone number in, and I expect somebody to be dumping in here because this program is for you. This is why we do it. We're over here. I may even give you a little tune while we wait, but let me throw the number in the chat for everyone that is looking. 55. Boop. All right, and there it is. And the stream will become supporters only in just one moment. There it is. Yep. All right, I'm going to throw up one of our little tunes here that I've been loaded up. Actually, do you guys remember the original, for our longtime listeners, do you guys remember the original theme song that we played, which my brother composed, and I think actually for a very long time was the opening theme? I'm going to punch that up because I was actually looking at it on my soundboard, and I haven't heard it in quite a while. This will bring back some memories for those of you that have been with us since the trailer days, which is going back over 2 years now. How wild is that? Oh, and I just missed a call while I'm just blabbing away. All right, I'm going to punch it in. Call on back in. I'm sorry about that. And here's the sound. The original sound of the KSS. All right, I'm gonna fade out the music. I got a caller on the line, so we'll just have the nostalgia be a short little taste on there. Who's dialing up?
Stevie Wonder is back.
How are you doing, my friend?
First of all, wanted to talk about. I know you spent time in D.C. January 6th when I was there.
Mm-hmm.
January the 21st.
Out the music. I got a caller on the line, so we'll just have the nostalgia be a short little on there. Who's dialing up?
You got to mute the background. We're on a delay.
It's Stevie Wonder again.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wanted to talk about.
Now you're hearing yourself. That's why.
In D.C. January 6th when I was.
You're gonna have to mute your program in the background.
I did. I muted it.
All right, good to go.
Yeah. The whole thing is, the first thing I wanted to say, you mentioned, didn't you say you're a Signal user?
I am.
See, now, okay. And the whole thing is, give me if I'm wrong, but when you're dealing with these group chats, don't you have to be invited in?
You do.
And don't you have to accept the invitation?
You do.
So that all ought to be able to be tracked.
Oh, for sure.
Who invited this guy in?
Yeah, not only can they can see who added the person to the chat, that's definitely the case, and they'll be able to see when that person was. And from everything I can see, and this is another piece of evidence on there, the chat all existed. The last person to be added was the journalist.
Right.
That tells me a lot.
Okay. And
right.
Yeah.
That tells you the order that it was added tells you a lot about what's going on there. I think. Call me crazy.
And that's what I think also.
Mm-hmm.
Now, second topic.
Okay.
Talking about security clearances.
All right.
Okay. This is, they're talking about this being a security issue and blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
In the Navy, I was a communication technician. That's now been renamed to cryptographic technician.
Yep.
And January the 6th, when I was leaving, the other Vietnam vet and I were down in the metro station next to the Smithsonian and ran into this woman and her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Was talking to her. It turns out she was a CTM. So she was a cryptologic technician maintenance branch.
Okay.
And basically, so they would have worked on the crypto gear that we used. And the fascinating thing was, I said, that's pretty wild. I mean, and the whole thing is, it turns out, she says, well, it's not what you think. It turns out I spend all my time fixing vending machines and toilets.
Oh.
because my security clearance gets me in the building. And then my skill set with maintaining the crypto gear, they feel like, I should maintain the toilets and the vending machines.
Oh, that's nice.
So
that's funny.
I thought that was an interesting story about that.
That's classic
And the
military
last-
move, right? It's like, oh, you know how to fix that? Can you fix this too? This is the real problem we have. We don't really need anything else.
Yeah. And the last thing is, I wanted to just talk about loss of freedoms.
Okay.
You know, I've been protesting in D.C. since 2009. The first Tea Party march, the second Tea Party march, then January 6th, and then, like I said, I was there at Biden's inauguration. I was part of the latest medical freedom movement. I was up in D.C. late this past year
Okay.
with Dr. Pierre Corey and that group.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I've noticed over my lifetime, growing up, my parents moved to Philadelphia in my senior year in high school, and I went down and actually saw the Liberty Bell.
Okay.
And at that point in time, it was inside Independence Hall.
Sure.
And
Okay.
you could actually walk up and touch it. You know, I mean, it really meant a lot to me to go through that as a graduated high school student. I went back to D.C. Like I say, I've been back 3 or 4 times. And first of all, I took my wife, a Filipina, to see Philadelphia. And we went down to Independence Hall.
Mm-hmm.
And the Liberty Bell now, you cannot get to without going through security. And then it's inside a building, and it is surrounded by a roped off area with a security guard standing next to it.
Mm-hmm.
An old semi-retired guy, or I don't know, I imagine he's some kind of civilian contractor.
Yeah, or a Federal
But
Protective Service
basically-
guy, something like that. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, he's in civilian clothes. He's
Oh, okay.
not in a uniform.
Got it.
And so I believe that, if I remember right. And the whole thing is, you know, you can't touch the bill. I mean, so that's the first thing. The second thing is, in my first Tea Party march, we went from, Freedom Plaza
Okay.
down to the Capitol building. And on that walk, you went past the museum.
Mm-hmm.
And on the front of that building was, I think it's like a 70-foot tall marble or granite what do you call it? A slab. It's a huge slab. It's like 40 or 70 feet tall. It weighs tons, and it's got the First Amendment carved into it.
Okay.
Okay. So, freedom to redress your grievances against your government, to publicly assemble. And so, you know, I take pictures of that every time I was in D.C. and march down, you know, to the Capitol building.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I don't know if people know this or not, but that is now removed.
Yeah,
It's now gone from D.C.
Well, we had a whole surge of idiots over the last couple years, and for some reason, the people that want to make their message heard want to destroy nice things. So that checks out.
Well, the whole thing is, the story there was the museum was suffering financial problems. They had converted their building into condos on the top floors, and that evidently wasn't enough to keep them going. When when Biden was elected,
That's a shame, though.
John Hopkins ended up buying the building,
Mm-hmm.
and then plaque was removed. Okay, and it was moved to Philadelphia, to the Freedom Square in Philadelphia, and it's now like on the third floor inside a building there where nobody can see it, you know. And once again, I just feel like I'm getting squeezed tighter and tighter here,
Yep.
losing more and more of my freedom. And so, that's just what I wanted to talk about. And
Well,
there was one other thing.
I don't think you're wrong. I mean, I think it's well observed. It's frustrating too, because I think we all see it in different ways, right?
Yep. And the whole thing is, you mentioned to me the last time I was on, I, talked an awful lot about COVID, long COVID, and that kind of stuff. And you mentioned getting me in touch with a friend of yours named Sonny.
Yes, I'll still do that. We got to do that. Well, let's make a connection over on. So will you email me? It's info@kyleserafin.com. That's the open email for it. And if you want to email me.
Okay, well,
Did you email me already?
I did message you through, I think, Instagram it was. And I never got a response.
I'll just tell you right up front. I hate every Meta product. I despise Instagram Messenger. I despise Facebook and all of it. And I almost never look at it. And if I look at it, I probably screw it up because I don't know how to do it. My buddy and I were just complaining about how bad their business suite is. And I'm not even using the business suite. I have no idea. So that is a total not intentional fail, but I will absolutely fail all the Instagram contacts. But if you'll send me an email, I'm a plain Jane email kind of guy. I respond to them. It's real easy, and it's info@KyleSerafin.
Sure.
INFO.
All right, good enough.
Yeah, I'll put you in touch.
All right,
for sure.
do it. All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thanks for calling in, Stevie Wonder. People were asking. They said it's Stevie Wonder the Spook. So now you're going to develop a persona here. People will know.
And I still want to hear the story about snake nuts.
I will tell the story of snake nuts sometime. I don't know if it's going to be tonight, but I will tell the story at some point in the future. I need to have there's a certain hat that goes along with it, so I should probably have the hat with me if I'm going to tell the story.
Good enough.
All right. Thanks for calling in.
Talk to you later. Bye.
All right, appreciate it. All right, folks. That's fun. We had another person that was trying to get on the line that wanted to jump in. So if you guys want to jump in, by all means, I will accommodate the next call. Looks like it was a New York area code. So by all means, give us a buzz here. You guys are looking for the Ezekiel and the Tony clip. I don't know why you sickos like that, but I got something different for you. Here's a guy that's showing off his skills on whatever the hell this kind of motorbike is with a sidecar. I don't know. I saw it and I thought about you all. You're a weird lot. So let's see if this thing queues up properly. F you, he says. I don't know. It just made me think about you guys because you guys like weird stuff. That's some real skill right there for whatever that's worth. That guy's capabilities on that thing. It's not easy to spin around on a sidecar. He could work for DC Metro PD if he was so inclined. Do you know that I found out, if you guys have ever seen, if you've ever been in DC, you'll see, like Stevie was just telling us, if you go in there during the winter time, you'll always see them with a sidecar. And if you go in there during the summertime, you'll see them on the regular motor patrols. And I had to ask them, I'm like, you guys put people in, what are you doing? Like, why do you have a sidecar? And they go, oh, it's just to keep us stable on ice and snow. It's a mechanism to stabilize the bike. So they put them on, but they always have the sidecar kind of pinned down so it's aerodynamically sound. And I don't know. I bet you they can't do cool tricks like that. I bet you they don't got a little middle finger sit inside their little satchel or whatever the heck it is. I'll try to find you guys the Tony clip. Too many requests for the Tony clip means we should make it happen. I've got a couple of these things that never actually end up fitting into the program, but we might as well just play them every once in a while during this show. Again, phone number's still open, so you guys are welcome to jump in. Let me see if I can find you a funny little clip that I saved for you. Sometimes I just save stuff and I don't know when I'm going to share it, and maybe this is the only place where I can share it, so that checks out. Let's see here. That's a Ronald Reagan clip. Got a lady in Idaho. Get you guys fired up. That's fun. We're not going to play any of those yet. I'm saving those for another time. I don't know what the time is, but there will be a time for it. Just saw this guy. There we go. All right, now I'm in the right space here. Jasmine. You guys want to see Jasmine? No. How about... Let's bring a caller on while I look for something. All right, caller, you're saving me as I'm looking for this extra clip. Who's on the line here?
Hey, it's Renzo.
Renzo. Thank God you're here.
So I left you a couple voicemails, and so now you have the laugh on recording.
Oh, good. I might sample that then. You may not be as thrilled about what you probably shouldn't have given me an audio example to hold on to.
No, I just didn't know what to say. I was like, oh, man, he said to call in, and I got the voice. So
now you're stuck with it.
Yeah.
So you just called in and laughed at me to yourself? That's a possibly diagnosable condition, my friend.
It could be. I mean, what would you call that?
People have been institutionalized for less. Let's be real.
I don't think we institutionalize anybody anymore because you can't put anybody in a mental institution.
No, they just give you a voting card and tell you to vote Democrat. You're just allowed. They would just try to transition you to another gender. What gender would they transition you to? Which of the 72 genders would you pick if you had to get a new one, Renzo? Be creative.
That's tough. I don't even know what like 65 of them are. You know?
Right.
I know there's like Xi, Zhang, or Zhu, and
it just sounds like you're being sort of racist. Are you just making fun of Asians? What's going on there?
No. I could be making fun of it. I do that a lot, though. So
make fun of Asians? Yeah, that's depending on where you live. That could be okay. That could be fine.
Oh yeah. Well, so I'm Puerto Rican and I'm Korean. So when I'm with the Puerto Rican side of my family, I make fun of Asians, and then when I'm with the Asian side of my family, I make fun of Puerto Rican.
And there's a lot of fertile ground on both of those. On both of those territories. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. You know, it also depends to the age. You know, like my younger family members, they don't take to it as well. I think that's because of the environment that they're growing in now.
Well, isn't that sad? I feel like young people should be the most flexible about being made fun of because they do the dumbest things.
Oh no, they're all so pampered that they can't take something that might deem like humiliating to them. That's when I know that you're a Democrat.
You just can't take a little bit of ribbing.
Yeah. No, it can never be humiliated. The image has to be catered to a specific, image.
Yeah, I get it.
If you try to destroy that image, and it's like, oh, I can never like you. And it's progressively gotten worse. Like,
you used the word progressively properly, too. That's good.
Yeah.
It is, in fact, progressively getting worse. Did you watch today's program by chance? Did you get to see it, or did you listen to it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I watch every day at work.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad that they're paying you to watch me. That's good. Somebody should. What did you think about the trading cards / playing cards that we threw on the screen there? What did you think of those guys?
It made me think of Magic. That was the first thing I thought.
Yeah. No, it's the same style.
The second thing it made me think of was Garbage Pail Kids.
Garbage Pail Kids. No, you're right. It's like a Magic the Gathering time. It's funny because the guy I talked to, his name's Cameron Smith. And so when Cameron and I were talking, he's like, I love Pokemon as a kid. And I'm like, oh, I know that there's a generational gap between us. I know there's years because that wasn't the thing when I was a kid. But I did know, I think I had some Magic the Gathering cards and I don't remember playing it very often, but I'm pretty confident at some point I played a game or two with some friends. So I understand, just the strategy of it. It never really stuck with me, but yeah, it's a very Magic style. Yeah. The artwork, the layout.
I only liked the cards. I didn't want to play the game.
The game actually sounds really fun. Listen, so I'm not really a card game kind of guy either, and I don't generally have the patience to do it. But it actually it sounds pretty amusing because it simulates the sort of like the way the cards play does the thing that happened in real life when you play them. So in the same way, the effect of having fill in the blank, heroes step up and say propaganda, or using certain tactics or techniques, or getting rulings from judges, it actually affects the gameplay the way that it did in real life in a lot of ways. You can do censorship and you end up gaining control of media narrative and things. So it actually sounded pretty strategically cool. I don't know. I just love the fact that there's an Alec Jones card, and I sent the picture of the Alec Jones cards to Alex Jones directly, and he was like, "That guy sounds pretty great. Like, I'll talk to him too. Like, that sounds cool. Like, put me in touch."
And see, I find that little things like that can tell. So, like, you had the Alex Young, and then you had the Eye Patch McCain, right?
Yeah, I've got him on the screen right now while we're talking.
Yeah. So you had those two on the screen, and the first thing that came to my head was if you said something to Crenshaw and like said, "Hey, like look at this car," he would like be upset about it. But automatically in my head, I'm like, if he sent this to Alex Jones would be like, "This is cool, man."
Yeah, no, Alex thought it was great, and I guarantee, you'd probably irritate Dan Crenshaw. It just depends on what side you held it up on, though. If you held it on one side, he probably wouldn't even recognize it, so that'd be okay. He's got kind of a blind side. I don't know if you know much about that sort of thing. Yeah, no, Jones is such a madman that you could just tell him, you're my favorite madman. Like, I really, really appreciate how wild and crazy you are. And he's like, "Oh, I gotta stop doing this stuff." But like, yeah, I'm still doing it. Like sometimes, while I was on with him live, I kid you not, I'm sitting there with him live, and he's talking about how something had gone on, and he's like. He goes, someone hacked into the security cameras for InfoWars, and, they found that I was just sitting here drinking vodka at midnight with my shirt off. I'm like, what the shit are you talking about, dude? Like, who sits in their office with their shirt off just getting drunk at midnight? Like, what are you talking about? But he was just, straight, like, that was an hour before, after he had told me that he saw people taking a bite out of a baby or something. And you're just like, dude, it's so extreme all the time. It just never slows down. He's just like that. And in real life, he's like that too. It's really funny. Came in and was like talking to Owen. It's just wild. That's fun.
I think the media people and like all of the government has, obviously destroyed him. Like this whole bankruptcy thing.
I know it.
Like.
Yeah, but he was always a wild man. I mean, he's part of it. He's just a wild man. We just got to accept that he's a wild man. That's part of his game, right?
Yeah, but see, this is the thing, though. When wild men get into wild situations, wild things happen.
Yeah, that's true. That's factual. No, you're exactly right on that. So I've got a video for you that's going to be maybe you don't have Waffle Houses where you are, do you?
No.
Do you know of the Waffle House? Have you traveled and seen them?
Yes, I've been to a Waffle House like in North Carolina.
That's a good,
like that,
it's a good place to go. What's your general feeling, Renzo, on Waffle House?
Well, the one I went to, I don't know, it's been a couple of years, I guess, but it was very dated and like it made me think of the 70s.
Yeah, no, that's about right. I mean, that's what it is, right? That's just it's not nice. It's Waffle House, right? So
yeah, that's why I think of the 70s. It wasn't nice.
Yeah, it wasn't nice. It just was. It is. It just what it is. Okay, so here's the best part. I got a Waffle House commentary that I will share with you if you're ready for it, and then I'll get your reaction. It's about 90 seconds. Does that sound fair? Okay. Be easy on the stoner laughing though. If there's a lot of stoner laughing, you might be confusing people. So we gotta tone it down. It gets serious for a minute. Here we go.
What's up with y'all in Waffle House? It's Waffle House. It's a home to everybody. Dude, the health score's like 92. Doesn't matter. Health score don't apply to Waffle House. Dude, our table's dirty. Doesn't matter. It's Waffle House. Okay, but what about the food? Do they have healthy options? Nobody goes to Waffle House to be healthy. Dude, the cook is outside taking a break. Yeah, that's Waffle House. But what about the service? Doesn't matter. It's Waffle House. What the fuck, man? I don't see where you're confused. It's pretty simple. Is the coffee at least fresh? It can be. Is that customer trying to fight one of the servers? Ooh, we came in on a good night. Dude, some of these people don't even look like they should have drove here. It doesn't matter. It's Waffle House. But is this like breakfast, lunch, dinner, brunch, a combination? Like, I don't understand this. It doesn't matter. It's Waffle House. And why do you come here? Because it's Waffle House. No matter the time, day, or anything that you have been doing, Waffle House is always a great idea. It is a home to everybody. So you ain't got no reason to go to Waffle House except it's Waffle House. Incorrecto, mi amigo. I go to Waffle House because I don't have a reason not to go to Waffle House. See, you thinking about this shit too hard. You just got to understand. It's Waffle House. That's it.
That's it. What say you?
That's it. That's it.
Isn't that it? I mean, you just don't have to feel that strongly, but don't think about it so hard.
You know. So, me and my wife, we own some property down in North Carolina, so we were going down there.
That was kind of a light flex for whatever it's worth, Renzo. That was kind of a light flex. We just, you own some property in another state. Go ahead, keep going.
Well, we want to move. We want to move out of New York.
You don't have to justify it. I'm cool with you having property.
And it's only got trees on it now. So we're like, we have to go build, go and look and find a builder to build a house.
Sure.
So we drive down to North Carolina, and my wife says, we got to go to Waffle House.
Correct.
And I said, okay.
There's no reason to fight it, yeah.
So we went to Waffle House, and I was with Waffle House last year.
Yeah. Look. It is what it is. It's freaking Waffle House, man. You know what it is. Once you've been there, you know what it is. I used to live in a place that it's called Biloxi, Mississippi, but I casually refer to it as Waffle House, Mississippi, because every Waffle House in Biloxi, Mississippi is in spitting distance of another Waffle House, to the point where you could literally throw a baseball from the roof of each Waffle House to the next Waffle House. So you just drive until you see one that doesn't look too busy, and you pop in, and then you can eat. There's about 6 of them in a row. I'm not exaggerating. You can just keep driving. You go like Waffle House on the left side of the road, Waffle House on the right side of the road, Waffle House on the left side. They just alternate, just going down the way. And it's all on Route 90. It's very easy to do.
Waffle House don't non-compete.
There's no non-compete options. It's just available all the time. There's Waffle House set up. If you're interested in getting Waffle House, you can have Waffle House, and they all have a little bit different vibe, a little different, personnel. So, yeah, look at this. I just see in our chat, Babs is saying I was stationed at Keesler, and it's like, yep, that's where I was at. That's where you go get Waffle House there, and it doesn't matter day or night what time it is, and it could get real spicy. Because Waffle House, Mississippi is not known for people behaving in general. In any case, I got some good Waffle House memories. I remember my buddy Matty. Hold on, Renzo. I'm going to tell you this too. My buddy Matty was kind of a big guy. He was about 6'5" and about 250. Pretty good sized dude. And he used to be sort of interested in like heavier set women because he thought it was like easier hunting, I think. And so Maddie would sneak out the back after we paid the bill. We were sitting there just like drinking orange juice or coffee or whatever. We'd be sitting at the table. He would sneak out the bath. He would say he was going to go wash his hands or go to the bathroom or something. And then we would look, and he'd be like jumping into like a 1988, Acura Legend that was like listing to the driver's side pretty aggressively. And he would get in at 250 pounds and he wouldn't shift the car. And you'd be like, "Ooh, that's probably a big girl in that car driving him off." You just disappear. We'd be like, "Where the hell did Maddie just go? You dirty dog!" You got some scandalously heavy chick. He found, you know what? He found a girl that was too heavy to come into his Waffle House to see his buddies that were at Waffle House with him. That is not someone that you're proud of, but whatever. He used to do that. He's probably married and doesn't want anyone to know those stories anymore, so I won't say his last name. But that used to make me laugh a lot. That's a scandalous thing to do.
That's hilarious.
It is what it is, buddy. And, it's Waffle House.
Just one last thing, and then I'm gonna let you go because I know you're past your usual time. I think you're totally right. This was an op against Goldberg.
Thank you.
And the reason I think that the Trump administration kind of wants this signal gate, you guys keep talking about this for like weeks, whatever, because then they get like, I feel like Trump's people that he's got now, they know how to like manipulate the media. Whereas in the first term, it was a lot of rhinos. They'll let the media manipulate them because
Right.
they were making money off it.
Sure.
And so, like,
This is a
you know,
more
this
savvy administration,
type of-
right? You get that feeling too. It's just they've really dialed in their game. Like I didn't believe in the 4D chess game, but I feel like they're playing a little bit more chess now than they used to.
like, I feel like this is like they're trying to make this the Flynn situation. So, like, he gets in, and then they were like, "Oh, Michael Flynn, he did all this horrible stuff. It really wasn't that horrible, but we made it sound horrible," and Trump fired him.
Yes,
And that's what they're trying to get here with Michael Waltz.
I think
That's
so
why
too.
Trump's like, you know, he owned it. It happened. It's a mistake, and it won't happen again.
Yeah,
And they're going to keep pushing until they try to get that, or until they realize that Trump's not going to fire him.
I think you're.
You know, so like they're going to.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's what it is.
And at the same time, they get to go out there and say, "Look at this garbage Goldberg. He wrote about the Russia hoax. Here, all the Russia documents are released. Look at how Goldberg lied to you."
That's right. Yeah, no, exactly
Yeah.
right. They get to bring that back up. They're going to re-adjudicate Crossfire Hurricane, which he just went ahead and exposed. So they're going to get back into the Russia thing. And Trump even issued a challenge when he declassified that stuff. He just goes, "Hey, you probably won't look into it, but you should. You should look into it, because it was very bad. Everybody thought it was so bad. We're going to give you all the details. You're all too lazy to look at it. Whatever." So he was challenging them on their face. I think it's good. I think, like I said, I think finally the thing that people have been promised me for a long time, that this guy basically understands at a high level and is 3 steps ahead on the board from everybody else. Like he's actually starting to do some of that stuff. And I think a lot of it comes down to Stephen Miller, because Miller is smart, hands down. And he's also crafty. And he's got a lot of energy. And I'm pretty sure he's just been scheming this shit out for a couple of years now. And he's excited to be able to put it in play. And Trump's into it. So that's fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's been telling everybody that he's about what he's going to be. Stephen Miller's been telling everybody for like 2 years.
And now he's delivering. So I'm not mad at him. Like I said, I think it's pretty good. I think it's enjoyable to see it.
Yeah. And I like that. I like that everything that they tell you they're going to do, they do.
They're starting to do it. Yeah, well, they better go and make my friend whole, and they better try to settle our lawsuits. Once that all happens, we're all going to have a good time. We'll have our own hall.
Yes,
we can have our own Kyle Seraphin show, Waffle House. Doggone it.
That's the one thing I'm still like a little irked about, like the, Garrett situation and everything. Like,
I
kind of felt like there should be some action going on.
Yeah.
By now.
I agree with you. I appreciate that it's still on your radar. So, we'll see what happens. I think it'll work out okay in the end. I haven't given up any faith on it. Things take the time. They usually end up being worth it.
Yeah, well, I also think, too, like, if you need to take a little bit of time to make sure that everything is done right, because, like, everything has to be done in a specific way in order for there to not be, these leftists come out here and say, well, this wasn't done right. Now we're going to take you to court, and we're going to do this, and we're going to slow roll this. And, so, like, like, I feel like some of these lawsuits, like the alien, he did that on purpose because he wanted that case to go to
100%. And they're going to win it because, like I said, I've already looked at the Supreme Court cases on there, and the case law behind it is still solid already. So they were on strong footing when they did so.
Yeah. Yeah. They knew that, this is part of the strategy.
I think so too. It's fun to watch.
So they know it.
It's more fun than losing. I'll say that. It's more fun than getting arrested.
And it looks like there's a plan behind it. It's not like haphazard. So that's right. Why I always notice that whenever the media is trying to say, like, there's chaos here, there's chaos there, that means that they know that there's a plan in place. And so they have to, like, say chaos, and they have to spin off everybody with the chaos thing because that's the exact opposite of what's happening.
It feels very planned, and it feels quite organized, so I don't hate it.
Yeah, so, so I think I just wanted to get it in, I think that this is all part of a plan. So we'll see. We'll see. They could fire Waltz tomorrow, and then,
And then we'll all laugh and say, well,
really
it was a good idea. We thought we knew what we're talking about, but as usual. Yeah. We'll see. We'll keep watching it. I'm open to being wrong. I don't hate being wrong.
Exactly.
If you're going to make a prediction, you might as well
I don't
accept
mind it.
Yeah. I do have something fun for you. Men who are feminists. So if you want to jump off the line and listen to that, I'll play that. And that'll be our last thing for the night. And then we'll jump into Friendly Friday tomorrow. Steve Friend said he was going to come in and redeem himself. I don't know what he's redeeming from, but I guess he's going to come in and do that. So make sure you're tuned in for tomorrow. But I'll give you feminist men. So as you jump off the line, go ahead and reactivate your sound. And I'll give you one last thing as a parting shot. And then we'll shut it down for the evening, y'all. How's that sound?
All right. Thanks for taking my call, man. Have a good night.
Thanks, Renzo. Good talking to you. All right, so there's that off. We're going to drop off. I'm going to close down the phone line. I'm going to play you one little silly thing because I probably won't play this on the podcast, but I've held on to it for a couple of days here. This is feminist men on a date. Why the hell not? It seems like a tough time to be out in the dating world. I apologize for all of you that are out there that are dealing with this. Here we go.
And that's why, genuinely, as a feminist man, I think that toxic masculinity is so destructive for our culture.
Cheers to that.
Right?
I wish all men were feminists like you.
Me too.
It's so refreshing.
All right, here's that check for you, sir. Sir? First of all, do not assume my pronouns. Second of all, how dare you assume that because I'm a man that I'm going to be paying for this whole dinner? Women are fully capable of paying for themselves.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want me to split the bill between you two then?
Actually, why don't we do this so we can really drive this point home for you because you're giving me very misogynistic vibes right now? Leave the entire bill and she will pay for the entire thing because she is a strong, independent woman who does not need a man to provide for her. As a feminist woman, wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, in that case, here's the check, ma'am. I'm sorry. Okay.
Canceled. I cannot believe how toxic that guy was.
Right, so toxic. Oh my god, this is expensive.
Oh, you got it.
Give me a purse, bitch! Give me a purse!
Ned, are you gonna help me?
Absolutely not. As a feminist man, I don't want to imply that you can't defend yourself just because you're a woman.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah, what? Yeah, there's no difference between a man and a woman physically. Gender's just a cultural and societal construct. You're just as capable of defending yourself as a man is.
Thanks, pussy!
As a feminist woman, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I guess, but can you at least do something like call the police? He's literally getting away with my purse.
The police. We need to defund those racist pieces of shit. Hey, bitch! Long time no call. Johnny Suckett? What are you doing outside of West Hollywood?
I make my rounds.
Long time no cock? Who is this?
Let's just say your little boy toy here and I used to have some wild nights down in West Hollywood. You know Boys Town?
No, I don't know.
Sucks for you. Sucks for me. Perhaps I'll see you there tonight, bitch?
What was that? Are you gay?
As a feminist man, I'm sexually fluid, so I don't believe that men need to conform to being heterosexual, even within a relationship. As a feminist woman, wouldn't you agree with that?
All right. This. I'm dating a conservative.
Oh, I like this look.
Johnny, wait up!
Start across the restaurant. Give me that cock, bitch.
Let's go to Flaming Saddles. And that's why, genuinely, as a feminist...
There you go. I don't know why that's on a loop, but... That's what I'm going to leave you with. Sorry for that. If that offended you, you're in the wrong place. That's just not offensive. That's just what the world looks like. It's a bummer for you all. God bless all of you. Thanks for being part of our community. Thanks for being part of the call-in. Thanks to Tracy. Thanks to Rose. Thanks to Stevie Wonder. And thanks to Renzo for wrapping it up. Thanks for all of you guys jumping in at a later time. Look forward to seeing you again in the morning. You'll get the hot takes of Steve Friend, which apparently he has been saving up just for you. Whatever the heck that means. I look forward to finding out about him as well. We'll see you at 0930 Eastern Time, 8:30 Texas America Time here at rumble.com/Kyle Seraphin, youtube.com @Kyle Seraphin, and over on X as well. Have a great night, y'all.
Thanks for listening to The Kyle Seraphin Show, streamed live weekdays on rumble.com/Kyle Seraphin. Follow Kyle on Twitter, Truth Social, and Instagram @Kyle Seraphin.